You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. Welcome to the first ever best of edition of The Front Porch Show. This is the first week, I think, in the history of the show that we've actually taken a week off. And after giving you the holiday season, Christmas and New Year's, and the fact that I'm away on vacation, means that, well, we're just not around to give you a live show. So what we did is we went back into the archives. We looked, we listened, we enjoyed, and we found some of our favorite bits that we have that we've covered on the Front Porch Show. And so, without further ado, here we go. Let's go to an Oxford professor, though. Oxford.
Okay.
Oxford University, Jeff.
So I Googled this as you guys talked about the Google machine and Wikipedia last week. You guys, I listened to the show while mowing my lawn.
Yes.
I don't know if I said that, but I listened to it while mowing my lawn. And it really, you guys got me to laugh out loud a few times. I did enjoy it. I found myself wanting to respond to your chicanery at times.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I could only yell it at the mower. But as Tombstone laments, the Google sent me to a sketchy website. The Express, okay, I don't know. Let me just say the article about an Oxford professor saying that aliens are here and breeding with humans. Here are the 4 top articles on the side next to it. 1, End of the World 2019, apocalypse to begin this year, shock claim. 2, End of the World, Jerusalem Third Temple fulfills biblical prophecy of the end times. 3, Nostradamus 2019 prediction, Donald Trump assassination, war and hard Brexit.
There's no
4,
doubt, Jeff.
Baba Vanga 219 predictions, shock claims of cataclysm, end of the world and global crisis. And the 5th one, a time traveling professor.
There is no doubt that those websites will pick up on this story because of the topic. However, this is in the Oxford Student.
We don't even know if this is real.
This is Oxford Student newspaper, guys, from University of Oxford.
Okay.
I'm citing them.
I prefer Florida Man stories.
Dr. Chi, Young Hai Chi, he claims that aliens share our biosphere and are acting to overcome the effects of climate change. I'm telling you guys, they would not put that in there if this was a bogus article.
They're acting to overcome climate change because that's what an invading force does, is save you.
Yep, exactly. So I'm telling you, I know this article is not a Babylon Bee or an Onion article because of that comment. Apparently, he outlined this in a 2012 art lecture and has since written a book. And he actually proposed a debate on the subject, which was not accepted, shockingly. So yeah, he gave a lecture at the Amash conference titled "Alien Abduction and the Environmental Crisis," where he outlines his theory concerning the presence of aliens on Earth. He began his lecture with a statement, "Perhaps human civilization is coming to an end," then delivered a 55-minute presentation where he cites Dr. David Jacobs, an abduction researcher. Guys, I'm just going to stop this right here. When did Oxford stoop to this low?
Yeah, you guys were talking about tenure last week. And I do think it's a good thing. It's a good thing when colleges were supposed to be a bastion of interchange of ideas, and you could bring up your ideas without fear of retribution. Now that they're these like safe place zones of no free speech, I don't know.
This seems like it's become a bastion of insanity.
This guy might need to lose his tenure.
Dr. Chi believes that there are 4 types of aliens: small, tall and bold, aliens with scales and snake eyes, which we already knew that. Those are the reptilians, of course.
Wait.
And then the insect-like aliens.
So basically, this guy just described all the aliens from Halo. You've got the elites, which are tall and bold. You've got the little grunts. You've got the insect-like flying ones.
I want to know if this guy's been on Coast to Coast, because he must have been.
I think the odds of that are not zero. They're more than zero.
Can we get a check on that? Has he been on Coast to Coast AM?
They come for their own. He said, so they come not for the sake of us, but for the sake of their own, but for the sake of them, their survival. But their survival is actually our survival as well. The survival of the entire biosphere.
What does that even mean? Why?
So first off, if they're escaping their planet, what did they do? Pollute their planet? Second of all, who says they live in the same atmosphere as us? This is just.
I know.
This is where I progressed in developing my theory, and I'm still looking for more evidence to support my view. You keep looking.
I'm afraid he's going to be looking for a long time, despite, the possibility that there may be life out there. I think he's off as a rocker, guys.
Yeah, this guy's nuts. And then he ties it to climate change, which just
wouldn't be the first person to have a unifying theory of aliens and climate change.
Guys, he did not write his book in English, though. He wrote it in Korean.
So?
I'm just saying that typically scholarly productions are made in a common language. Typically. Typically.
That's wasted.
I'm just saying, guys. He's a professor at Oxford's Oriental Institute.
Yeah, this is weird.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So, since we're on the weird stuff, and we probably only have a few minutes left, we're down the rabbit hole at this point.
Let's go. Let's continue.
I occasionally, when I'm bored, I'll start out with some of the normal little things I watch on YouTube, and then I will just this suggestion off to the side, and then this one, and then I'll start down a rabbit hole. And somehow from hunting videos, it got off onto
Flat Earth?
Bigfoot videos.
Oh, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot videos.
Ooh.
So what's your guys', we've probably talked about this some, but there was actually a very interesting story that a guy read that's out of a book that Teddy Roosevelt wrote, sharing a story that Teddy Roosevelt heard from some old trapper about a Bigfoot encounter. Or, it's not called Bigfoot in the book, but the encounter with a strange beast.
Cryptozoology.
So what do you guys think? Weird, undiscovered, bipedal, ape-like species somewhere out there in the woods of northwestern Canada or the U.S.?
I'm saying it's possible. You were on the show the night we talked about the Tasmanian tiger, right?
Yeah.
The weird marsupial.
And how they've come back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying
they were thought extinct, and now
there's
not.
things around that I think we haven't found yet. I mean, we find new species every year.
Tombstone's not interesting, but something that big.
I don't know. I think the only thing that's possible that's out there we haven't found is maybe something in the water. On land, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we find new species all the time. We haven't found anything truly strange recently.
See, I don't know if I agree with you on that, Tombstone, though.
Which part do you not agree with that I said that was perfectly
something's
factual?
not strange.
We've found weird things.
We haven't found anything that would be traditionally considered a cryptozoological.
Okay.
Sasquatch. Nobody's come up with a complete Sasquatch skeleton somewhere.
Yeah,
true.
Which is a big problem I have with their existence. Is there's literally no evidence except shaky videos that always get debunked.
So yeah, I mean, we don't even have bones or anything,
right?
Which means, of course, they bury their dead, guys.
Then you'd find bones if they bury their dead.
They hide them in disclosed locations because they have organized burials. I would love to get on a Bigfoot hunter. I'm going to look into that. Because that would just be amazing.
It's an interesting rabbit hole because you have everything from. I've watched a few stories from guys who are hunters and stuff out in the woods. This was up in Canada, and if you're going into it with an open mind, you look at it and you go, that seems like a pretty believable story. What reason does this guy have to lie about this story?
Yeah.
Of these weird encounters. And so you have some of these stories that are like semi-believable. Some are like, it could be mistaken for another animal. Some are like, that's interesting. Who knows? And then you've got the like insane stories that are totally unbelievable. You know, it's funny that they run the gamut of, this is kind of interesting to these people are insane, you know?
I don't know. I mean, to Tombstone's point, we're not finding any weird new things, right?
Not that
we are finding a lot of reptiles. We're finding different birds.
Yep.
Lots of insects, lots of things in the ocean, to Tombstone's point.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff in the ocean. I'm sure there's stuff in the deepest, darkest parts of the jungle in Africa that haven't been classified yet that are out there.
See, I mean, look, Africa in the Congo.
But,
there's legend of dinosaurs still in the Congo.
Yeah, like brontosaurus or something still kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, which
you think that's possible? Because that would be pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty sweet, but it'd be pretty weird. I just don't think that's possible. I don't think something that big could go unnoticed for such a long time. Something like that.
I agree.
But I
agree.
Things like the Tasmanian tiger, remote places in Colombia that literally no one has ever been to. I think there's probably stuff in there. Different species of monkeys or tigers and stuff that we've never seen, because they're in like their own little ecosystem nestled into a mountain.
But that's all just like different versions of things we already know. So that's kind of where that.
Oh yeah, like are we gonna find some new 6-legged mammal? No, probably not. Which would be cool, super super weird, but kind of cool if you're weird like us. So on one of our most recent episodes, we decided to play trivia. Now, this isn't just any trivia. This is 1984 Genus 2 edition of Trivial Pursuit. We do have some competition between Ozzy and Jeff. And it gets real. It gets real, and, well, they know less than expected.
Must have been a bad batch around here because Floyd counties went crazy in the last 4 days. When I finally got down here to the house to look to see what happened, the door was standing wide open. It looked like he was packing up for a yard sale when he come out. He was lying, throwing his hands, saying stuff like, I didn't do it, you know how rogues do, and blaming on everybody else. He did pull a gun on me when I got back around the house because I guess he thought I was upset with him. Who steals a cheese grater? He's got the words, Lysol. He stole an empty bottle of spray. What got me the most was my soap. He stole my soap. Who steals soap?
Wow, that was not the intro I wanted, but it was good. I mean,
yeah, that's not what you promised.
That wasn't the promised intro. My fat fingers just hit the wrong button. That's the problem with touchscreens, guys. That is the issue with touchscreens. Guys, every once in a while on the show we introduce a new segment,
Do we?
We do something that we're gonna try, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Happy New Year!
But
here's your new segment for the year.
I stumbled across one new segment a year. I stumbled across a 1984 edition of Trivial Pursuit.
Awesome.
The expansion pack, guys.
Oh.
So except for Mathis, it was before we were all born, but he was there and remembers all these events. So
I do.
Yeah, but the Berlin Wall's not going to be part of this.
This was 2 years before I was born, Jeff. I realize I'm old.
But so was the Berlin Wall, and you remember that one. So
that wasn't before I was born, Jeff.
Oh, whatever. The timeline's messing with you.
Guys, so we're gonna work through some of these questions. I don't even know what the titles are. I think that's general, entertainment, history. AL. What's AL?
Categories?
Yeah, what's AL? I don't know what AL is. What's SN?
American Legion.
Google this. American literature.
Oh, American literature. That's good. Which doesn't make sense because the question is not American.
Well, I'm
SN
guessing,
and SL.
List of Trivial Pursuit. What are all the categories?
I don't know.
The categories of Trivial Pursuit.
I'm looking here.
I would like SN for 300 Trebek.
People and places, arts and entertainment, history, science and nature, sports and leisure, and wild card.
Sports and
Does
leisure.
that fit? Does that fit them?
I don't know what wild card would be,
No,
but
because
okay.
there's no
SL
AL.
is-
There's no AL.
There is an AL. AL. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, on this list that I just read, there's not an AL, so I don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter. So, gentlemen, for this game, you have 3 options. Okay, we're doing this all on the fly. You have 6 options. You can choose G, you can choose E, you can choose H, you can choose AL. You probably need to write these down so you know what you're picking.
Whatever.
SN or SL, or you can say.
Can I have?
Or you can say pick a
SNL?
random one. No, you can't. This is not Saturday Night Live. You will also bid before the question, before you choose your category, you will pick a number between 1 and 3, and you will get those points if you get the question.
All right.
Correct.
You cut out on my end,
So-
so I didn't hear
so-
what you said about bidding.
Okay, so 1 to 3. 1 to 3. You choose the number of points you will get if you get it right, but you will lose those points if you get it wrong. So play conservatively.
Oh my god!
Okay. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
man.
Yes.
All right.
All right, I got my piece.
I
Of
have-
paper.
Okay.
What are we doing?
I
now?
have your categories. I have your categories.
You
here.
guys are responsible for keeping track of your own scores. I will not be
Oh,
doing that.
man. I missed half the rules, but here we go.
Okay.
so
Here's
bad.
the categories, by the way.
So, guys,
So the categories are geography, entertainment.
geography. It's not geography because this is not a geography question.
Well, it says what version of the game do you have?
This is the Trivial Pursuit Genius 2 edition.
Okay, so then so it's geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature, sports and leisure. Those are the categories.
Well, either way, you'll have to help me with that. So,
Okay.
I've got the first card here. You guys need to do paper, rock, scissors to figure out who goes first.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
All
first of all, it's rock,
Jeff
paper,
won.
scissors.
Rock, paper,
so-
scissors, whatever. Okay,
Ready?
go for it,
Ready?
guys. Okay, they are doing rock, paper,
Is it
scissors
on
on the air.
shoot? On shoot?
right. Yeah.
On shoot or on, okay.
What are we doing?
Rock,
1, 2, 3, shoot.
rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so ready, set, you win.
Oh, Ozzy wins.
Dang it! All right.
Ozzy won.
Ozzy, your
All right.
first category. What would you like?
Yes.
GEHALSN or SL?
I
Or
would like SNL for 300 Trebek.
that's not an option. But
Geography, entertainment, history, art and literature,
Let's
science
do
and nature,
it-
sports and leisure.
Do entertainment for 10
entertainment.
points.
And how many points?
10?
1 to 3. 1 to 3, man.
Oh.
that's
I mean, if you want to go by
he's
inflated numbers.
just all in.
Let's do
Ted.
two
He's like, I'm going to
points.
win this question.
Okay, so Ozzy's going for 2 points here with entertainment. What Walt Disney creation celebrated his 50th birthday in 1984? I told you this is the 1984 edition.
What year was it? 50th?
50th. So this
It
would be
would've been- it should
1934.
Probably Mickey Mouse.
That is
No,
incorrect.
no.
Ozzy is now down
I have
negative
no
2
idea.
points.
Now, do I have to
Jeff get to
steal that
steal or
one, or
something?
do I get a new
You
question?
may steal that.
Can we use the
do I
Google
take
machine?
do I take negative points to steal it?
You do not take negative points to steal it. You can only win those points. You can
Okay.
only gain those points.
So my steal attempt will be
But if you do get it, that is the end of your turn.
okay.
Oh, okay.
But if I don't get it, I get a turn.
Yeah,
and no
that's
negative
right.
points,
That's right. That's right.
So,
So,
I'm
you
going
get
to
a freebie.
go.
It's a free
I'm
play.
going to go Donald Duck.
You're going to go Donald Duck. And that is correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Whoa,
Donald
that was a
Duck.
guess.
Whoa, Donald Duck.
Boom.
Boom.
We're like a game show.
Oh, we are. We've got the sound effects and everything.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Wait, so it's Jeff's point again, or Jeff's turn again, or is it my
No,
turn?
it should
again?
still be my
I'm
turn.
Is it
so
still your turn?
confused
It's
on
still
how
your
this
turn
works.
then. Yes.
Right.
I was
Because
going
you
to say
rolled a
I
steal,
shouldn't
right?
get penalized.
I said that
for
wrong.
stealing. Yeah.
I
Yes.
said that wrong. I'm sorry.
You lose your turn, sucker.
So you now have 2
This was
points,
brutal
Jeff.
back in '84.
Yeah, keeping score. I'm keeping score here.
Okay, good. I'm glad someone is. Okay. Jeff, you now get the options to pick one of these categories, and then tell me how many points.
Oh man, it's probably dumb to pick history in 1984.
Berlin Wall.
Let's go history for 1 point.
Oh, dude,
history for 1 point.
History's bad.
Jeff, who was the 4th Prime Minister of Israel? I didn't know they had 4.
Is it?
Was?
I don't know any of them, but the one current one. So
I'm drawing a blank on his name too.
I know his name.
No, I know the current one.
Nelson Mandela.
Sharon. What's
Israel?
Sharon? It looks like Sharon.
Sharona. That
was
I can't think of his full
Sharona.
name, but it looks like Sharon. I think Sharon, something like that.
I'll give you half a point if you get it right, but you didn't, so you lose 1
Half a
point.
point if I get it right.
Like
I'm confused.
You're even close. No, because you didn't even get the name right.
All right, I'm going.
Okay, well then I'm not right.
I'm
so
going.
It's wrong.
Wait, I can steal.
Yeah,
right?
you can steal. You can steal.
Yeah, you can steal.
Is it Netanyahu?
No,
His name is.
no, it is not.
That's the only one I know. So
it is Golda Meir.
Golda
Meir.
Duh.
I honestly didn't know Israel had more than one.
this?
More than like
Well, they don't. They
5. Yeah, it was very bizarre. All right,
Wait,
Ozzy,
oh my gosh!
it is your turn.
Are we doing 5 questions, or what are we doing for this?
All right, I want entertainment for 1 point.
Entertainment for 1 point. All right.
That way, I won't break even.
What Philharmonic Orchestra was Hebert von Karajan appointed the music director of in 1954?
I would say the Philadelphia Philharmonic.
That is wrong. It is the Berlin.
What?
Oh!
Supposed to say it.
I guess Berlin.
You can't do that, Jeff.
Well, you just screwed up my chance to steal.
I
So
did. I did. So I will give you.
Give me a steal entertainment question for 1 point, and then I'll do
I will.
my.
I will. Okay, here we go. Here's a steal. What
People
century?
do this stuff?
What century does Captain Video live in?
What the heck is that?
I don't know.
I gotta Google this.
This is the amazing thing of playing the 1984 edition of. This came out before we were all born.
Oh my
20th
gosh,
century.
Dude,
The 20th
this
century.
Is legit.
20th century? Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect. It is the 22nd century.
Oh, obviously.
Oh.
Now, if you would have asked me what Duck Dodgers, I would have gotten that.
All right, so
I'm gonna.
So Jeff, it's all you.
I'm gonna go with sports and leisure
Oh no.
for 2 points.
All right, 2 points here for sports and leisure. How many times in his 16-year National Basketball Association career was John Havlicek a member of the All-Star team?
He was in for 16 years.
16 years, and he was an All-Star for how many of those years? John Havlicek. No Googling.
I can't even spell that.
No, I can't even pronounce it. What are you talking about?
Once.
That is incorrect. I am sorry.
Whatever.
I'm going to say
13. 13.
I'm going to say 13.
Oh wow. Yeah, he keeps messing up this.
I know.
So now give Oslin
Oh,
a 2 point
crud,
sports and
Ozzy.
leisure steal.
I was going to guess 6
He is
anyway.
not good at his own game.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm forgetting the
You
rules.
are the worst moderator.
I am. I'm
ever.
the worst host. What did Sammy Baugh say the 73-0 score would have been if the Washington Redskins had scored first in the 1940 football blowout?
Wait,
His face. I don't even think he read all the words correctly. There.
What did Sammy
that
Baugh?
again.
What did Sammy Baugh say the 73-0 score would have been if the Washington Redskins had scored first in the 1940 football blowout?
It would have been 73-7.
You got it right.
What?
I'm not kidding. That is the answer.
Amazing.
That is the
That's
answer.
amazing. I would have gone with
How many
that.
points did you just get?
I don't know.
It
How
is
many was
2.
that?
He got 2. So we are now tied.
You're now tied at 1.
No,
All right.
-1. We're tied at -1.
Oh, -1?
Freaking not
We've-
even here.
We've each missed a -2 and a -1 question, and we've each stolen a +2 question. So we are tied at -1.
All right. So whose turn is it? It's Ozzy's turn now.
It's mine.
It's
All right,
Ozzy's turn.
I want. What were the categories again? It doesn't
Geography,
really matter. Just pick one.
Geography, entertainment, history, art and literature, science and nature.
Let's
sports and
do
leisure.
art and literature.
Art and literature.
Right up Ozzy's alley. He's
Maybe
got
my
What?
degree will help me out.
What wide-ranging novel opens?
This is not.
My
gonna help me.
father had a
Nope.
small estate in Nottinghamshire. I was the
Oh.
third of 5 sons.
That would be Robin Hood.
No!
Wait, you didn't pick points. You didn't pick your points.
Yeah, you didn't pick your
Oh.
points.
Okay, -1.
So you get 1. -1. So he gets 1
Wait,
point.
so what? It's not.
No, it's not.
Wait.
I can't tell you.
So read the quote again. Read
the
quote
quote is, my father had a small estate in Nottinghamshire. I was the third of 5 sons. I know you don't know. You got it wrong.
Shut up, Aaron. You got it in front of you.
Come on, Jeff.
I don't even have a guess.
Guess literature. Come on, man. It's not that hard.
I can't even think of a title that would start that way. If you just said "Call Me Ishmael," I'd have got it.
I nailed that one.
Well, I didn't now, did I?
The Prince and the Pauper.
No. It's Gulliver's Travels.
Oh.
Yeah, now you know. Now you
I'm
know.
so glad our liberal arts
didn't know
education
that
has
one.
come to this.
So, Jeff, your main question here. What category would you like and how many points?
This is so bad.
I'm going to go with arts and technology. Wait, is that one of it's not in this one?
Arts
This
and
one is,
technology? No.
no,
Because they
science
didn't have
no.
that back in the 80s.
That's another 84 edition that's got a science and technology. I'm going to go with.
This is the Genius Edition. So,
I'm going to go
Obviously,
with
that's why we're not
science
doing
and
well.
nature. Science and nature.
Science and Nature. Oh,
It actually says Genus 2 edition, not genius on the thing I'm looking at. Is it spelled wrong or is it genius?
no,
on
you're
yours?
right. You're correct. It's the Genius,
Okay,
too.
All right.
I can't read
Okay.
properly, apparently.
So it's definitely not for him. Okay.
No, that is correct. So you
Genius.
would
All right,
like the science and nature.
for 2 points.
This is for 2 points. Are a rabbit's eyes open at birth?
I actually know this one.
So keep your mouth shut until
No.
it's your turn.
No.
Jeff, that is incorrect. I'm sorry. Ozzy,
Well, we know what Oslin's
you may
answer
now
is.
steal.
I'm going to go with no. I mean, yes.
Wait, what?
His first answer was no.
Yes would be correct. So you guys
Ooh,
are all
that's
back
a
at
tough
0,
swing.
right?
I'm at 0.
No. So
I'm breaking
I
even
am
right now.
at -1. I'm -3.
Yeah, and I'm at 0. I was at -1. And then
Oh wait, I gave Oslin 1. No, he got -1 there, so then he's
Right.
-4,
I'm
and
0.
Oslin's at 0.
So
Yeah,
we
I'm
will
at
do
0.
one more round here.
Okay.
One more round.
Wait, that means Oslin's gotten more questions than me. Oh,
No,
one more round
one
where
more
we each
round.
get
As in,
one.
we'll get to you,
Okay.
Jeff. We'll get to
Okay.
you. Don't worry. You'll have a chance to redeem yourself.
Okay.
Now this last
It was
round,
50-50, and I got it wrong. That's
This-
my life right
this
there,
being-
on the rabbit.
this being the final round, you may now bid up to 10 points.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
You may now bid up to 10 points.
Ben, just bid 10.
That's what I'm going to do. I mean, it's not like I'm going to.
But you're going to lose. You could bid
Yeah,
0.
not
I'll
unless-
lose.
Not unless Jeff.
But if you
Kids.
bid 0,
Shut up, Aaron.
if you bid 0, then you could
Shut
win.
up, Aaron.
You're just trying to give Jeff the win, aren't you?
I'm going to
Oh.
go with 10 for.
Oh, my God.
What were the categories again?
The genus edition: geography, entertainment, history, arts and literature, science and nature, sports and leisure.
Let's do a science and nature one because I actually knew the answer.
Got that one right.
Okay, so science and nature.
It's going to be something really bizarre.
What explosive do you get by mixing charcoal, sulfur, and saltpeter?
Oh, I know.
It's gunpowder, isn't it?
Give me your point. Give your points.
I get 10 points.
Yeah,
no, you don't get 10. He didn't give a point value again.
Yeah, yes, he did.
He said 10.
Okay, he did say he was going to go 10
points.
I did 10 points.
He did 10 points.
Do you know why I know this?
That question.
He got
that question.
Do you know why I know this?
No.
Is because of Star Trek.
Really?
The episode with the Gorn,
weird.
Kirk makes gunpowder.
That was funny.
Out of the raw materials.
Easy. Well,
that was
it's
a super easy
impossible
question
for me to win, but
would you like your final question?
Yes, give me my final question.
What would you
I'm
like?
going to go 10 points as well.
Okay.
Just because.
So I could win by 20 here.
So you could win by 23, actually.
That's amazing, yeah.
And I'm going to go with entertainment.
Entertainment,
No.
Okay.
No, I'm going to go back to science and nature. That seems to be the one we've at least known a couple on.
Taking the easy way out, I guess. Here we go. Oh my goodness. What is the international radio code for the word for the letter P?
Pop.
Excuse me, say that one more time.
Papa.
That is correct. For 10 points.
Boom.
Wow,
that was one I knew.
That was
All right.
solid.
That was one I knew.
Jeff, second place. First
Ozzy,
loser.
Second place, 7 points.
Ozzy, our hats are off to you as the winner. How many points was that?
I got
Osland gets 10.
10
points. His
Ozzy,
final question.
10 points. 10 points. That's amazing. And how many do you have, Jeff?
7.
7. So we will pick this up at a later date. I think that was fairly successful and fairly fun and educational. Now that the audience knows how to make gunpowder and that rabbits are born with their eyes open. That's all I learned, guys. And that Gulliver's Travel has a very wordy first line.
Yes, it does.
Oh, man.
There we go, guys. We'll be right back. It's been suggested that if you want to get a tattoo, you should probably wait 6 months before actually getting it, just to make sure that you know it's exactly what you want and that you understand the meaning and its implications in your life. In our next story, well, it was a little bit impulsive, but he got the tattoo anyways. You know, people find inspiration in a lot of places, and this guy found inspiration on his dog's groin.
Phrasing.
He did, though.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
I mean, he did, though.
What?
He did.
Wow.
I mean,
there was a lot more subtle way to walk into that.
Yeah, I was just going to say inspiration on his dog.
I just figured we should just
always count on the Front Porch Show to word something in the most awkward
That is Tombstone at the Front Porch Show.
I have a question for you. Okay. I have a question for Tombstone related to this story.
Oh, boy.
So you go out and you adopt a dog. Let's say you go down to the Humane Society down there by the airport there, and you adopt a dog for your children. Okay. You bring the dog home.
Are they always by an airport?
As you examine, no, I just know the one near him is by the airport.
It is by the airport. He's correct.
So you bring him home, you're playing with the dog. You see that for some weird reason, some
cruel person,
the cruel former owners have put this weird little tattoo on the inside of your dog's back leg.
Yep.
In solidarity with that dog, don't you think you'd go out and get that same tattoo on your bicep really large just to be in solidarity with that dog?
Because I'm not an idiot, and because I have owned dogs before, I would guess that a tattoo so I'm looking at the picture, in that color, in that location, had some sort of veterinary purpose. Like, our Dobermans had tattoos on the inside of the ear with their serial number.
Right. I find it interesting that you had your Doberman. Like, did you have them registered the same way you have your firearms registered due to the breed?
They were. Our Dobie was she was already tattooed when she came to us.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
So whoever the breeder was did it for tracking purposes, which, good for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if we would have done it, but it's like the same. It looks the same. It's like a really low grade, just like dot matrix type thing on the inside of the ear where you'd never notice it unless you had the ear pulled open or whatever.
So to describe this tattoo to our viewers, this tattoo is it's kind of a circle with then an arrow coming up at like a 45-degree angle off of it.
It's the male signal.
Yeah, it's the male symbol.
You're killing me. I was trying to describe it. Then we all know it's going to turn out to be the male symbol. Okay.
Listen, you were struggling, Karen.
But then there's a twist on the male symbol. Through the circle, there is a slash line. Through the circle. So this gentleman goes out and gets this giant tattoo of the male symbol with a slash line through the circle on his bicep, because he's not bright enough to know that symbol means the dog has been fixed.
No, the dog is no longer a male.
If you look at the picture with the tattoo, you can see that the dog is fixed and missing the part of the anatomy that the circle symbolizes that's now been slashed out.
He is missing some man bits.
So now this dude is running around.
I've been waiting on the man bits all day.
With a giant neutered symbol on his bicep. So anytime he tries to flex on somebody like, I'm a man.
To me, this is like the most
millennial.
millennial.
Look like he's going to be flexing any day soon.
This is the most millennial thing I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it completely is.
So this story we found at a bunch of weird places. We can't quite track down that it's 100% true. There are photos.
It's probably from Reddit.
It is on Reddit. One of them's on Reddit.
By the way,
it's
Reddit
on
is
the
a cesspool. It's as bad as Twitter.
But we found this during the break, and this is hilarious.
It's hilariously awkward.
So we think we vote Tombstone to get that tattoo for the Front Porch Show in the future here.
I'll give Tombstone $500 if he gets that tattoo.
Dude,
can I get it really, really tiny?
No.
Yes.
No. Oh man.
So, I'm not going to be the one to confirm that.
I mean, they're up to 3 kids now, so maybe it's time to get the tattoo. I'm just saying.
No tattoo.
Actually, it's
I am tattoo free.
Needs that tattoo probably, but
I'm good.
I'm tattoo free because when the boogaloo kicks off, I don't want to have any identifying marks on my body.
Oh man!
Don't tell me you guys have never thought about this.
I'm gonna say I haven't gone that far into depth with it. No.
Well, you've never read Enemies, Foreign, and Domestic, so
it's not a bad idea. So
Aaron's like, I'm not saying anything.
I'm keeping quiet.
Aaron's just stuffing his face with breakfast and avoiding the topic.
Guys, my wife made pancakes. She made those pancakes.
Which reminds me, Aaron, I really miss your blueberry pancakes. Just saying.
Yeah, that's what these are.
That's not a metaphor. That's what I really miss.
Okay.
Anyways, are we at the end of this segment? We talked about tattoos.
Not yet.
We talked
We've
about
got another
internet modems making weird beeping noises.
We've got another dog story.
So here's the thing, guys. If you are really, really, really ticked off at the government, do you know what you do? You get a sculpture of a giant middle finger carved and then mounted on top of a pole. The plan is flawless. But that's catchy. I like that. I don't know why. There's something about it,
it's
Jeff.
More chill. It's just more chill.
Which
didn't go with how worked up you were getting at the end of the last.
I needed something to chill me out, Jeff. I needed something. So it's no surprise or no mystery that I did spend a large majority of my life in Vermont, and so Vermont stories are always near and dear to my heart. And Vermonters are an odd bunch, and so Vermont has historically, at least for the last 20 or so years, has really tried to maintain their red state status in such a blue region of the country. You've got Massachusetts, you've got Connecticut, and you've got Rhode Island, and you've got New York, which are so incredibly blue, it's not even funny. But yet, for some reason or another, for the most part, the last 20 years or 30 years, I guess, Vermont has elected Republicans, at least to governor,
electing Bernie Sanders,
and yet they keep electing Bernie Sanders. Do you know why? It's because he's honest,
independent,
and he's independent, right?
Okay,
and so Bernie's a totally different story, though. Bernie's a mess, and so one of the real challenges in Vermont is that it is starting to turn blue, and very, very much so, especially in the municipal governments. And so freedom is starting to go out the door, and it makes things very challenging to do anything. Well, we get to the story out of Westford, Vermont. Westford, Vermont is just north of Burlington, a little northeast of Burlington. Beautiful, picturesque views of Mount Mansfield. It's that quaint New England town. And then all of a sudden, as you're driving along the road, you see something in the distance.
It's an old church, like a 100-year-old church, 200-year-old church.
No. That would be what you would expect.
Yeah. Maybe a ski hill.
But no, this turns out to be a 7-foot tall middle finger up on top of like a 15-foot pole.
Wait, what?
Yes. Yes, Jeff. A 7-foot long middle finger peeking up over the trees. Fully lit, by the way, so you can see it at night.
And so I take it this town doesn't want visitors.
This isn't done by the town. No.
Oh, okay.
This is done by resident Ted Pelkey, who paid a sculptor $3,000 to create the single finger salute.
Oh, so he's fully invested in this.
Oh, yes, he's spent his money. Why? Why would he do that? Well, he's a retired school teacher and a longtime Vermont resident who's tired of what's going on in the state. And apparently he wanted to move his business up to his house.
What's his business?
His business is Ted's truck and trailer repair. Now, I remember I have seen this business. It's not that big of a business. He wanted to throw up a garage in his property and run his business from his house. Sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a great idea. To boot, he's got 11.4 acres to build this business on.
Plenty of space.
Plenty of space. Not going to bug the neighbors. He wants to save thousands in rent. He'd build an 8,000-foot garage. That's honestly not that big. That's a 100-foot by 80-foot garage. It's not a huge garage, especially by Nebraska standards. People throw up garages like that all the time. The town initially signed off on the project, but a handful of neighbors appealed to the state's environmental court, which Vermont has an environmental court, by the way.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hear you. Local officials withheld the permit necessary to begin the building when it went to court. Apparently, there's been 10,000, or he's spent $100,000 over the last 10 years in order to battle this. And
I'd have probably given up at that point, but
well, he kind of did. I mean, he kind of did, and so he, threw up the middle finger.
So what was I'm confused. So he could build the lighted middle finger.
So the lit middle finger, falls under the freedom of speech. So apparently he's sitting in the Longhorn Steakhouse in Williston, Vermont one night. Been there, enjoyed the place, nice restaurant, sipping his Long Island iced tea. Of course, his brainstorm had to have a little bit of courage added to it. And sure. He says, "Too bad I can't buy a big middle finger and put it out on a post out there." And his wife, who over the years has grown used to hearing his outlandish ideas, replied, "Cut it out." Well, Michael.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, she said, "Well, why don't you?"
Well, Ted spent $3,000 and made it.
If you spent $100,000 battling it, I guess what's another?
Yeah,
$3?
Why not? Why not? A local sculptor made it for him too, which is nice. Keeping business local. Got to hand it to him.
Supporting a small business. So again, that's protected under freedom of speech.
Yes.
Which is something we should explore sometime. Different expressions of freedom of speech.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But he couldn't build his shed. Now, what were the claims of the environmental impact of this 800 square foot garage?
Jeff, you can't build anything in Vermont without having an environmental impact study. I'm not kidding you. So in Vermont,
but he submitted the plans and they said it was fine.
So yes, but it wasn't approved by the environmental court.
So what is that? But what does that take then? So
if someone
of his neighbors, he didn't have a study done.
Well, so the claims of the neighbor were probably, it doesn't say so in this article, but knowing the Vermont issues, odds are he had probably taken dirt off of his land. Maybe he had dug a hole.
Yeah, I mean, you got to lay a foundation, so you need a level spot to do it.
In Vermont, a certain number of yards can be taken off property per year, and that's it. You cannot take any more off that land because you might ruin the environment. Or there could have been a stream. There could have been a stream, and they were worried that the stream might get pollutants in it if he didn't do something.
And I get it. So he said it was tractor repair,
just trailer repair, okay. I guess.
So it's not even going to be a lot of, if it's just trailer, like RV trailer.
I don't know that, and that's the thing.
So there could be some concerns about hazardous fluids and stuff like that from repairs of trailers. And
but look, if
you
screw up something, if you dump something into the river, you're going to get in trouble for it.
And that's where a lot of the disagreement comes, right? So those of us that are more freedom, liberty oriented say we don't. Unlike we're accused, we do not want to trash the environment or
grief,
kill everybody.
I'm the local resident front porch hippie here. I don't want to destroy the environment.
But we say until an actual crime has been committed, until someone else's rights have been violated, the government can't step in. So to try to keep me from dumping something in that river, you can't control my actions. Once the thing's been dumped in the river and damaged things for someone else, now actions are taken against me for that violation. Right. It's just like, you can't try to precog thought crime me, which
okay.
I'll have to find that article for you.
So
they're getting into that, some of that kind of stuff now.
The argument against him may be the fact that I'm looking at his business in Swanton right now, and as I said, it's a small place, and I don't remember seeing these when I've been past it. However, there are a bunch of fuel trailers sitting out there in front of it.
Yeah, and so if he's working on tractor trailers with those kind of, what would be considered hazardous materials, hazmat, the different categories of hazmat.
But at the same time, he's going to have to know and deal with it already.
Yeah, he's going to have to have ways to protect against it. And this is where you and I may start to diverge. I'm okay with a very tiny little bit. Like at some point, somebody had to come up with those classes of hazmat, right?
Yeah.
And somebody had to say, this is the way you guard against them. Now, I prefer if a lot of those types of things are left up to what you might call professional guilds. I think we got into that when we got into occupational licensing, right? Like,
right.
The government shouldn't license my barber, but if I'm being smart, I'm going to go to a licensed barber who would license him. Some sort of,
right.
Guild type thing, some sort of occupational group that you could choose to belong to, right?
Right. And that's fine. But see, so here's my thing: as long as this guy's willing to follow the understanding that he is dealing with hazardous materials. He's got 11 acres on his property. Let him build his garage. We're not talking about something crazy here.
It just goes to show you never really own your stuff.
No, you don't.
That's never. So again, you move out there in the woods, they're going to show up. There's articles. We'll have to find it. There's articles where a guy has gone completely off the grid, and the government showed up and told them you can't be. You can't be. They force you to be plugged into the grid. You can't be fully self-sustaining.
Bring it.
Ridiculous.
I'm telling you. 16-foot pole, 7-foot middle finger, 600-pound chunk of pine. Bring it. No, look.
Not the way I would choose to express myself.
I wouldn't do it the same way. I'd move. I would have spent that $100,000 and I would have moved.
Yeah, seriously.
And why do you think I'm sitting here in the middle in northeast Nebraska right now? It's because of this.
Because you like the winter?
No. I don't like the winter. That's why I left Vermont. Vermont winters were a lot worse. I don't know why everyone thinks Nebraska winters are so much worse than Vermont. Vermont winters were so much worse. Real bad. No, it really frustrates me. I don't know. They're talking about capitalizing on the slogan Westford's #1 with a t-shirt.
Oh man.
What do you feel as a town official right now?
Well, to be honest, if I'm some smug, got what I wanted, whatever, I don't know. I won my lawsuit and the guy wasted some money and I don't really care about his stupid statue. So I don't know that it really sticks one to the town officials. He should have spent that $100,000 and run for town office and help change some things. That might stick it to him more.
I get frustrated for him, honestly, because it's his property. He should be able to do what he wants. At the same time, I don't know. So it's considered public art. It's considered public art, and that's why it's.
But I guess the statues of Confederates are not.
Right. So we can rip those down anyways. So
an interesting discussion of whether we want necessarily to keep those up or not. But I know that would get Tombstone all fired up.
Local snowplow driver pulled over to snap a photo of the finger to shake Pelkey's hand. That's just great.
Oh, man.
Visitors, 100 cars a day are stopping to take pictures of the finger, one coming from 80 miles away.
He should start charging per photo.
He really should. Look,
he's California.
He's bringing business to the town of Westford, Vermont, the sleepy little town of Westford. I mean, he's bringing in business. He's putting them on the map. Who has heard of Westford, Vermont until this?
You?
Well, me. But I'm from Vermont. It's different, right? So Tombstone hails from the South. But let's not hold that against him too much. But there are times when Tombstone shares a story that it just proves how far deep in the South he is.
Can we start with the eclipse story?
Which eclipse?
My eclipse.
Oh, of course, Tombstone.
The total eclipse of the yard.
So you sent me a text today that said, was it a text? It might have been on Facebook. And you said, I sold the eclipse.
Yes. At last.
At last. And you got to tell me what happened, man.
So the eclipse, I haven't driven it in 2.5 years. It had, among other issues, it had a small fire in the engine compartment.
No, this is not the same car that we tried to burn down in Vermont at one time, right?
No, that was the Camry. By the way, I'm getting a pure inception here. I don't know if
everyone is right now. We're trying to fix that on this.
We love you all. It's Infinite Graves faces. That's kind of awesome. So it's been sitting in my backyard and it really needed to go. It had water in it. It probably had mice in it. There's no telling what all. And my wife wanted it to go, which is the most important thing anyways. So I put an ad on Craigslist. I listed it for $100, as it stands, clean title and everything. And I had one guy flake on me, but the second guy showed up, Ricky Tick. Now, the guy was very country. He's from Lawrence County. And he showed up. I was hoping he'd come with a rollback truck because that would be the easy way to get it out rather.
No, he decided he was going to drive it out, didn't
he? It's so much better. He showed up with a Silverado and a homemade car trailer that was built on a boat trailer chassis. And it had a cantilever thing going on, but he couldn't get the trailer into the backyard. But he did have 2 push-pull hooks welded to the frame of his Silverado. And he basically scooted the truck right up against the car, hooked it up, and dragged it out of the yard around the side of the house.
Nice.
Got it down to the street, lost control of it. It went down the side of his truck and scraped the wheel flashing, which wasn't terrible.
Of the Eclipse of Doom.
No, it scraped the truck a little bit. Nobody cares about the Eclipse.
Gotcha.
But it was a very bumpy, grindy process. Like, it was not the finesse. He obviously had a lot of practice at it. And that's what was terrifying, is that it was not the most efficient method, but it was also clear that he had a ton of experience doing it.
So,
and my friend Mark was there.
Using extreme prejudice when it comes to redneck ingenuity.
I would say so. My friend Mark was there, and I commented to him as he was pulling onto the street. I said, what scares me about this is that there's a method to the madness, but it is utterly mad.
Right.
So he sticks it on the street and goes to pull the truck around and get the trailer. He didn't have a chalk, so he had kind of like a screw jack that he put underneath the tire to keep it from rolling. What do you bet whether or not that actually kept the car from rolling?
I don't think it's going to stop it from rolling, that's for sure.
You would be correct. It, in fact, did not stop the car from rolling. And I'm looking at the car after he did this, and I'm thinking, should I reach in there and do the e-brake or something? Because I didn't see him do it. He runs the truck around. As he's pulling around, the car rolls free, starts to roll into my neighbor's yard downhill. And all I can do is stand there with my hands on my head, because I couldn't get behind it. So fortunately, the wheel was cocked just a tiny bit, and it actually turned and rolled across the cul-de-sac. There's a grass patch in the middle of my cul-de-sac.
I've got to ask you this question. Had money exchanged hands already?
No, the money had not.
Oh, so this is not currently not currently his issue. This is your issue right now.
It's not his car. It's still my car rolling down the hill to who knows where.
This is beautiful.
Knock down power poles, mailboxes, fences, puppy dogs.
This is an absolute beautiful tragedy.
The only thing that made this better, a little bit better, is that none of my neighbors saw it. They have no idea what transpired last night.
So it's dark
and
out?
It was dark. It was dark out. It was like at 6:30. So he sees it rolling, and fortunately the wheel had been cocked just enough so that it actually turned and rolled across my cul-de-sac. My cul-de-sac has a grass patch in the middle. It doesn't have a curb there. It's just grass. And it slowed down a little bit. He runs down, gets right behind it, and stops it before it hits anything with himself. So
that's incredible.
And again, the guy was completely unfazed. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. He was completely unfazed by it. And he proceeded to put the car on the trailer and drive it away. Money and title changed hands, and I've washed my hands of the whole thing. I haven't looked on WYFF this morning to see if anybody lost a red and black Eclipse on 385.
Wouldn't that be epic?
I'm kind of scared to look.
I mean, what do you think the chances were that he lost it?
I think it probably stayed. He chained it down really well. So,
just feels to me that everything there might be a chance.
Everything else, who knows? But it's gone to its happy forever home now. I don't know what he's going to do with it.
Happy forever. Matter. Now, this is the Eclipse with no hood, right?
It has a hood. It's had a hood.
Oh, you got a hood?
Years. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it didn't have a hood.
For a long time, it didn't. I got a friend of mine to bend the subframe back, so I was able to put a hood on it and stayed put.
Hold on. So you couldn't put a hood on it because the frame of the car was bent?
Well, I had a hood on it, but the subframe just at the front was bent from where I crunched into something or something. I forget what.
The story's getting much more entertaining. You do realize that, right?
So I could close it, but I couldn't latch it, so I had it bungee down. And I was driving home. I'd actually gone to Lawrence County, of all places, to get a carburetor for the motorcycle. And on my way back on 385, the bungee broke. The thing snapped back and hit the windscreen.
Wow.
And it didn't damage the windscreen because it was an aftermarket hood. It was made out of pot metal. It did dent the top of the car. It knocked the interior panels loose, which is kind of hilarious. So, it was a really big whomp. So I was able to pull over, kind of looking underneath the hood through the windscreen, able to pull over the side of the road. I took the 4 bolts out, and I think I just left it. I might have had my dad come get it. I can't remember.
Dropped the hood on the side of the highway.
It was completely worthless.
You may have just topped your redneck story. The guy who picked up the car. Story. You probably have, honestly. You probably have.
So I went to church. I went to church a couple weeks later, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he works at a machine fabrication shop, welding fabrication shop, and he was able to. What we ended up doing is he welded a bracket, a hook onto the subframe where it was pushed in. It was just a little bit, maybe a half inch, and he cinched it down and hooked up a skid steer to it and pulled it out, popped it out.
That's genius.
And then we were able to latch it. Yeah, it was a great day, honestly. I was super impressed. So
that's crazy.
Cut off the bracket and it latched just fine. So it had a hood. It had a hood for most of the time I had it, but there was like a year there where I didn't really have a hood.
So that must have been classy. Now
there was nothing classy about that.
Can I ask you this question?
It was fun to drive, though. Yeah.
Was this before or after you were dating your wife? During?
Hang on, let me ask her.
All right.
Carissa, did the Eclipse have a hood when we started dating?
This is a beautiful moment here.
She seems to think that when we started dating, it was in fact hoodless.
That's amazing.
My wife knows quality when she sees it.
She obviously saw the quality in you.
She saw
not the car
through the rough exterior.
Look, I think it's a beautiful story. I think
that was my. It wasn't even close to my first car, but I drove it for 100,000 miles. Fell in love in that car. Went on dates in that car. Went to see my wife in New York in that car. Stop it.
Aww.
And it was good.
It's like
car.
Let's just be clear. Tombstone is quite the debonair. You know, one of our favorite topics on the Front Porch Show is Florida Man. The next segment begs the question. We know you shouldn't drive while under the influence, but what about baking cookies? I don't know where to begin on this story. I honestly don't know where to begin, other than
the headline.
Other than Florida.
That's just the first word.
It is, but let's toy with the audience a little bit, and not give it to them all in one headline.
Okay.
Because that's no fun. Apparently, this is out of Niceville, Florida. Niceville police and firefighters decided to respond to a house fire last week, and they got to the home at around 5:30, and they could see smoke coming from inside. And now I'm quoting from the NWFDailyNews.com, where it says, a naked man opened the front door, said, "I'm sorry," and closed the door.
You haven't lived if you haven't had that happen to you.
You haven't lived? Really? Really?
You've never been to a house and the person was not dressed?
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
See?
For my job, I knock on probably 20 doors a day to do work at these houses, and it's probably
it happens
once every couple months, where someone comes to the door and is hiding behind the door because they're not wearing anything.
Mm-hmm. Awkward.
Super awkward. So the police officers arrived just after the firefighters, and the man came to the door again, left it open, and went back into the house. According to the report from the police department, the man showed no signs of understanding the danger he was in, and that several things inside the home were on fire. An officer detained the man and removed him from the house for his own safety. Firefighters said that if he had stayed in the home much longer, he possibly would have died from smoke inhalation, which means the house was on fire.
Yes. There were burning items in the home.
Yes, burning items in the home. The man admitted, shocking here, folks, absolutely shocking, to drinking 2 liters of vodka and smoking marijuana starting around 9 a.m. that morning.
Wow.
He refused further medical treatment after being found that he had no life-threatening injuries. Based on the fire department's investigation, the man allegedly had tried baking cookies on his George Foreman grill. The grill and the cookies set fire, so he put dry paper towels on top of it to put the fire out. Those, shockingly, caught fire as well.
Oh, man. What kind of cookies do you think he was making?
They were probably like the Nestle cookies that you get out of the frozen package, out of the freezer.
Mm-hmm. And
you just toss one on there and hope it cooks.
I know there's special brownies. Do people do special cookies too?
Honestly, I don't know. We'd have to ask Elon Musk and Joe Rogan on that one.
So this makes me think of, what is the weirdest implement you've ever used to cook something?
That's easy. That's super easy. An iron.
That's exactly where mine went.
College.
Mine went too.
College.
Yep.
We weren't allowed to use cooking appliances in the dorms. What did we use? A paper bag and an iron. You could throw down some real nice grilled cheese. Grilled cheese with those suckers.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Not bad. And then probably one of the weirdest I've done is flipping pancakes with an axe.
Oh, I forgot about that when we went camping that one time, and forgot the utensils. Forgot the flipper. I guess an axe works. I mean, it really does. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. That is an awful lot of alcohol.
Yes, it is.
And he's lucky. He's lucky he didn't perish.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like he does this more frequently.
Right. I was going to say it. It sounds like he's a frequent flyer, if you know what I mean. This last segment takes us all the way back to episode number 1. We were just coming into our own. We were just learning how to broadcast. But we knew we had something. We knew we had black gold. So, We were going to talk about, and I guess we can talk about still, Mount McKinley. You know, Mount McKinley, which is in Alaska. So Quinn the Eskimo.
I believe it's the third largest indigenous mountain.
Is it
in the eastern hemisphere?
Is that? Do they really use the word indigenous? That sounds ridiculous.
I don't know. I'm saying words that sound cool.
Is that the mountain that the indigenous people refer to as Denali, and we insist on calling it McKinley?
Right. It's Denali.
Who I believe so.
I think actually officially it is Denali now. Is it?
Yeah,
not?
didn't they change that?
Like sometime in the last year.
But as a child born in the 80s, I will not refer to it as that. I will refer to it as McKinley.
I'm pretty sure.
And Pluto is also a planet.
What's that?
All right. Nothing.
Oh.
All right.
All right. So we're distracting you. So Denali.
What planet is the one after Jupiter?
Denali.
I'm not saying
Denali.
No, it's Neptune.
Denali? Oh, okay. Yeah, tallest mountain, and you know, people like to hike up it, and it doesn't take, it takes numerous days, and so as nature takes its course with the climb, things tend to be left behind. Well,
you're talking about
too much fiber.
Right,
too much fiber.
Well, you shouldn't eat too much fiber. Was it you, Jeff? Yes, it was when we were having the fight over fiber in college, and we had to go talk to Joel.
I'm not recalling this.
Joel Porch. We consulted his epic nursing skills to help us figure out what fiber was.
I don't recall the great fiber fight of 06.
Yes,
fiber
fight of 06. Yeah, we had to get a consultation from the male nurse.
Okay. That's homophobic.
Yeah.
No, he was a male nurse. He is a male nurse. He's a very successful male nurse.
Been spending more time with the male nurse than I was. I don't recall.
He lived next door.
I do recall they lived next door. I don't recall the fiber discussion.
Man, so nature takes its course, and you gotta relieve yourself as you're climbing, I guess, as you're walking along. So 36,000 people have climbed this mountain between 1951 and 2012. Any guesses on how much has been left behind?
So one a day. What's the average trip? Probably two a day, maybe.
A significant amount.
So we got 2 a day, 36,000 people. You said
right.
How many days does it take to climb this mountain here?
I honestly don't know. I would say probably 3 days.
Okay, I was going to go 3. So we'll go 3 times.
Break out the calculator.
36,000. Big numbers here.
The average poop.
Well,
come up with a mass.
I think we were figuring what 1 pound.
We've got 108,000 poos.
108,000 poos.
According to our no, that's if everyone dropped 1. So,
but again, we're going to bump up against those mass and volume calculations.
With coffee, so with coffee and fiber, we're talking 216,000.
200.
So now we need some. Yeah, now we need some volume.
Hey, I'll just hold you there. You calculated it perfectly. You calculated the poundage perfectly. It was
that wasn't poundage. That was numbers.
You said 215,000.
216,000. Yes.
Yeah. Right. So they estimated it was 215,000 pounds.
So I'd say
that's actually about right. If each poo is approximately a pound, that works.
Right.
That works.
Exactly.
I like we are very scientific here.
Exactly. No, we mathed it, guys. We totally mathed it.
Jeff, I'm legitimately impressed.
Jeff knows his poop calculations.
I mean,
Jeff knows his stuff.
3 days, 3 days, 2 a day, 36,000 people. It was literally just punching buttons on the number pad, really.
But
you correctly factored in the coffee and the fiber, which not everybody would have thought to put in the coffee. Fiber, yes. Coffee, no.
Yeah,
dude, coffee.
I think without coffee, we could end up as much as like 35% off.
Yeah, I mean, coffee is a contributing factor, folks. I'm just gonna say right there.
So, coffee
makes things move.
I cannot find a stall in my office between like 9 o'clock and 9:30 in the morning.
There you go.
Well,
that's when the first cup of coffee.
All you need
in.
to do is find
That's
a glacier, my
cup-
good man.
But there's only 3 stalls on 3 floors, which is insane.
That sounds like my
But
building.
I
2 stalls, 2
digress.
floors. That's when you self-identify.
Yeah, how many people do you have in your building, though?
Mm,
How many people are in your building?
sir, 50 or plus at a
Yeah,
time.
we've probably got about 350 or 400 people in my building.
Yeah, we're not going.
You only have 3 stalls in your entire building?
There are only 3 that are easily accessible. There is another one, but I don't know where it is, and I'm scared to go. look.
OSHA needs to get involved. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, isn't that an OSHA violation or something? I mean,
I have no idea.
not enough places to go.
It's really aggravating.
So the Park Service has put the kibosh on pooping on the mountain because they're saying that it's staining the glacier, and instead of
So it's gonna look like a pair of underwear after a really sweaty day.
So,
there'd be a giant skid mark going down the
there is
mountain.
a giant skid mark on America's whitey tighty.
I literally cannot even right now.
The level of maturity on the show has gone from personality test to the world's largest skid mark.
It is definitely not as dignified.
No,
as the first hour.
it's I was expecting junior high level, and we have completely captured that. Thank you, guys.
No, I think we've gone through that floor down to elementary school.
It's about a
Absolutely.
sixth grade level.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the Park Service has put the kibosh on it, and they are telling the hikers that they have to let's just say pack it in, pack it out.
They decided to make an impact on the on the situation.
So the issue is that apparently, rather than degrading, biodegrading like they would have expected, it's just freezing to the glacier.
There's no
right.
Not enough bacteria up
right,
there.
right. So it's hitting the ice and just freezing and sticking. And so as the glacier moves down the mountain, it's like sliding down with the stuff. And
But are there like okay, one poo is not going to leave a visible stain. Like, is there a common spot that's just being filled, and then so there's this giant streak?
The trail, I think it's one trail that they use to go up to the top, and so the camping spots are in normal, regular places.
There's no trees. There's no trees up there, so there may be one spot.
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, it's behind a snowdrift.
So I've made the mistake of searching Google Images for this topic.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh yes!
We will have to include that in show notes.
I didn't find anything interesting.
Oh, and there's nothing interesting. Oh,
I'm kind of disappointed. No, nobody has taken a picture of this and put it on the internet yet.
Which would be interesting.
We could create one. Where's Photoshop? Let's see here.
So apparently, I guess they're allowed to poop. Like they have to pack it in, pack it out, unless they go to one spot, and it's like a ravine, or and they can
just drop it.
They can drop it down into the abyss. Yes, and if you hear it hit the bottom, you win.
I mean, isn't this contributing to global warming?
Probably in some remote way, I guess it could be. So yeah, keeping our parks clean. Go Park Service. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this first ever best of episode of the Front Porch Show. We are so thankful that you've listened, and we absolutely love you guys. We enjoy putting on the show every week. We enjoy spending time with you. We enjoy getting your messages. We enjoy corresponding with you over Facebook. It's an absolute blast. Visit the website, www.thefrontporchshow.com. You can also check us out on Twitter and on Facebook. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you like to procure your online content. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.